Hi everyone, Jared here. Time for the Monday Weekly Watch List webinar. We've had to resort to a little bit of a slightly different situation today. Normally I have a live session, everyone's invited, everyone comes, we have a great time. This week I have just moved and I've got some internet drama and it is dramatic. So I'm having to do a recording for the next day or so while I get all my things situated here in my new location. But it doesn't change the fact that we have some great setups and some very good things to talk about today. Just a reminder, this weekly webinar is brought to you by Day Traders FX. If you'd like to stop by and get a little peek at our live trading group and so on, feel free to do so at daytradersfx.com. You can just click right there on Join Us and get a 5-day free trial. We'd love to have you. Okay, so let's have a little look at what we have on the calendar this week. We've got definitely some stuff. We've seen a little bit of Aussie news come and go, and we saw some movement there. Coming into tomorrow, we have one of our first speeches by our new Fed chairperson, Janet Yellen. So she'll be talking. We have a little bit of U.S. news and some Chinese news tomorrow. Going into Wednesday, we've definitely got some stuff as well. Some nice UK activity. Carney speaking for the Bank of England. Draghi will be speaking tomorrow morning as well. And tomorrow afternoon, we have employment numbers for Australia, which is always a big mover. Always a big mover. And that's definitely going to have an impact on some of our Aussie pairs. So we're going to talk about what we will be looking to trade on those. And I'm pretty excited about what we have there. Coming into Thursday, we have some U.S. retail sales, unemployment claims, some more Yellen activity. So that should be pretty exciting. And then we'll close it off with a few little announcements from U.S. and Canada on Friday. So it should be pretty good stuff. I'm pretty excited. I think we'll see some nice movements there. Let's get right down to the charts and see just what we have in the works here. So far, everything is looking pretty good in the euro here. We've seen a nice little bounce. Now, the question is, what are we going to see on the euro? Last week, we saw a bunch of activity from euro movement. We saw this stuff right here when Draghi came out and said the same thing once again, which was, we'll do whatever it takes to keep this euro strong. We've seen a nice rally from there. Now, this is something I covered in one of the wrap-up videos last week, which was we have a very nice little situation right here that I call a perfect textbook bull flag. This was a 1-hour chart bull flag. Talked about it in the video, and we saw a very nice movement up. Now, just to kind of review what those bull flags are, how close did we get to our price projection? A move up of about 125 pips. Did we reach our price projection on this one? Oh, we did to the pip exactly. So just the power of bull flags. I love them so much. I think they're about the best thing to trade with as far as price patterns go. They're super great. But let's have a look at this euro dollar. If we look at a slightly kind of a larger picture, longer-term outlook here, you can see that we do have a bit of a rising wedge, and the euro-dollar broke out of it. We had some nice tested areas here. Euro-dollar broke out, came back in, broke out, came back in, and now it's out, and it's just kind of all over the place. It's really been bouncing nicely off of the 200 moving average, and it's been staying above the 200 moving average pretty consistently since September of last year. That stuff typically means that something might be in the works. I don't have a super specific entry that I'm looking for right this moment on euro dollar. We see that there's definitely some strength and there's some good things going on there, but we have some interesting lows to watch. 134.75 is going to be one to keep an eye on. We're almost 200 pips above that. And that's that low that that is the last test of the 200 moving average, which has been pretty significant. We have this next high in here that's been one to keep an eye on. That's around 137.35 area, and that's kind of the channel of the last solid month. So I'm going to kind of just keep an eye on that. I don't have a real specific entry yet, but I am absolutely positively looking for opportunities to short the euro dollar. But for right now, we'll probably get a little bit of a push higher, and I don't have a really great entry for it. I'm keeping an eye out on things, but I don't know that I'm going to be jumping into this one too terribly soon, unless we get, a really nice textbook bull flag or something, which we'll probably get on this 1-hour chart. This will give us a nice little bull flag, nothing too major, but keep an eye on that. We do have a weekly pivot down here that has not been reached for the week yet, but keep an eye on this little bull flag. That'll be something small to trade, but big picture stuff, looking to short euro dollar in a little while. Okay, let's get down to the pound dollar. Let's get over here to this daily chart. I still love the pound dollar so incredibly much. I can't even stand it. Here's what we have going on with the pound dollar. Number one, we have some pretty big missed weekly pivots so far. So we have a missed weekly pivot. Let's see, is that? I think that might be current week. So here's a current. Okay, so here's our current weekly pivot right here. Last week's weekly pivot. As far as our current pivot goes, it is down here a little bit, hasn't been touched yet, but we do have that missed one up there around 16500, really, just a little, about 70 or 80 pips up there. But we have these big levels down here, monthly pivot, and daily pivot down at 16200 and 16188. So as I've said 100,000 million times before, 16200 is going to get hit big time. And then we have 16050, which is a daily and weekly pivot. Again, going to get hit big time. And then we have another missed weekly pivot down here around 15850, and that one, that's going to be a move, and 15600. Remember, our daily chart is telling us that the pound dollar has not come back to the moving average, and it likes to come back to the moving average. That's kind of home base, and it's been about 145 candles, 145 days since it's been back there. So that's something that tells us overbought. We have this, let me zoom out one more time here. We have this rising wedge. See how it's kind of getting more and more narrow, and it broke out of that, and now it is coming right back to that area. So it's very likely going to test 164.50, maybe even 16500, and potentially start going short from there. It looks like we're working on a pretty ugly head and shoulders pattern as well. Remember, very oftentimes we'll get a rising wedge breakout that will turn into a head and shoulders pattern, and that is fantastic. So we're going to be watching for that, but I'm absolutely going to be watching for any kind of opportunity to short against this high of just about 166.70. I'm not expecting it to get all the way up there. That's obviously 250 pips. But I'm going to be looking for areas to get in with stops above that. So if we start to create a right shoulder here and come back down, I may jump the gun because we already have a confirmed rising wedge breakout. I may jump the gun and get in before that neckline breaks and start targeting once again, which I've done so many times already, 160.50 and 158.50. We got stopped out of our pound dollar trade last week at 100 pips profit. We were up about 200 and change pips at one point, but it just kept pulling back, so we took 100 pips. Not bad. Still looking for a little bit of a spike up and an opportunity to trade down to 160.200, 160.50, and so on. So again, let's watch and see if we get a bit of a right shoulder forming here, and then we're going to be looking for some real big, huge shorts again against that 166.70 area. So great setup right there. Here is the Aussie dollar. We've been talking about this quite a bit. We have had a nice little breakout here of this falling wedge. So this is a falling wedge, and it has broken out very, very nicely and given us a nice little run. And so now what we're looking for here is what is going to happen next. As I've said many times before, I'm super counting on a test of about 92.50, and I think we're going to get up there. And we've had really nice solid breaks here. So I'd be looking to get in on some dips here. I'd like to see this Aussie dollar dip down just a little bit. We're probably going to get a bit of a bull flag move, and so that would be good. I will definitely be buying if we get down to about 8,900. So about 100 pips below current market price, I'd buy that dip like crazy. But likewise, I'll watch for a little bull flag. This will be a little easy, safe, small bull flag that we'll probably be able to get into. So this thing could retrace back down to 89.65, 70, somewhere in there, and then take off from there. So be ready for that. Be ready to watch that movement. But in the long-term picture, remember, we are targeting 92.50, at least 92.50. So be ready for that. And then we're looking for some real big, massive sell-offs on this Aussie dollar. So that's also in the works. But right now we're looking to buy the dip, buy the bull flag, and then we'll sell that rally in a couple of hundred pips. It's going to be a huge move. I'm super excited about that one. We're really looking to kind of put together a big long-term trade and let this thing just rock and roll. So it's going to be super good. Okay, yen pairs. I'm not doing a lot with the yen pairs right now. They do have some things in the works, and they're yen pairs. I don't know what I can say about them. I like yen pairs when I get on the right side of things, but I'm just not seeing too much right this moment with euro yen, pound yen. They have some nice little setups. We still have plenty of missed weekly, daily, monthly pivots on all the yen pairs, which they may take a very, very, very long time to come back to. So I'm not doing too terribly much there yet. Keep an eye on gold here. We'll probably end up with a little bit of a 4-hour bull flag. We might end up with something even more than that. So just watch that. No major trades on there just yet. Let's get to the dollar CAD for a moment. We have had a trade on the dollar CAD for some time. We entered at the break of this guy right here, which was 111.50. We got in at 111.45. We moved our stops to 111.40. And now this thing has just been running down. Our target is 109.50. What's the low of that right there? 109.66. So it came within 15 pips of what would have been a very nice little 200, about a even 200 pip profit target. But we're still in it. We've still got our stops in place. Nothing really has changed. I still think that we're going to see this dollar CAD get down to 108 and change. Take out this weekly pivot. I'm looking for the dollar CAD to get there. It's kind of working on a bit of a quasi crazy looking head and shoulders pattern, which it may or may not get us there. It could end up being a double top. Whatever the case may be, it still is very much within my criteria of looking for maybe a slightly bigger correction, and I'm holding on to it till 109.50 still. So that's a great trade, great little opportunity, and we're still in enough profit that I'm not super worried about it. So dollar CAD, hang in there, and let's see if we can get back down to that missed pivot. Okay, let's get on to the Euro Aussie. This is an exciting one. This is a super exciting one. Rising wedge, breakout, daily chart. Bingo, important. Missed weekly pivots down here, galore. Bingo, that's super important. 200 moving average that hasn't been hit in, I can't even do that kind of math. A long time ago, April of 2013. A lot of things are in play here that is turning this Euro Aussie into something beautiful. Now, in case you guys have been watching and wondering if you're seeing what you think you're seeing, the answer is yes. And we think we're seeing the early, well, not even the early stages, maybe the latter stages of a head and shoulders pattern that's getting completed. So double top, nice left shoulder, dips down. This is part of our neckline, runs up, creates a head right there, runs back down, perfect double bottom, perfect just symmetrical neckline galore. That thing is just perfect right there. And it's coming back up again, and if it can stay below probably about 155.100 area, which I think it should be able to fairly easily. If it stays below that, then we're going to absolutely be looking for opportunities to short, because we already have this rising wedge breakout, and so we should be able to get some opportunities to short if we get a turn up here, and that's officially a left shoulder, or excuse me, a right shoulder. If we just miss all of that and we're just super bummed because we didn't catch any of that and we just missed it and the head and shoulders pattern happened without us and whatever, then we still get the opportunity to trade the break of this A, double bottom, B, neckline of a huge daily head and shoulders pattern with a very minimum target of about 146.50. So if we miss everything, we still have a 350 pip trade waiting for us at the break of 150. So I'm not super worried about it. We got a great trade coming up. I'm excited, and that Euro Aussie is going to be great. So either we sell the break or we sell the rally just a tiny bit higher. So I'm looking forward to that. I think there's a super good opportunity coming up on that Euro Aussie. So I'm probably most excited about pound dollar, Euro Aussie, and probably the Aussie dollar. I think I'm pretty excited about the Aussie dollar. I think this puppy's headed up to 92.50 probably pretty quick. And I'm definitely going to be watching this euro dollar for some moves higher and see if we can get some breaks and some runs down a little bit lower. It should be a super excellent setup, and I think there's a lot of great profit potential in there. So let's be ready for that, and let's make some money and act funny. There's going to be some nice setups, long-term and medium-term. I'm not looking for too many short-terms right now. As you can see, there are some little bull flags across a couple of pairs, and those are good. You know, the size of the bull flags that we have are going to be good for 30 to 50 pips probably, so jump in and grab those, but I'm really looking for the 200 to 500 pip runs, and we've had a good couple of big runs lately, some very excellent runs lately, in fact, and we've got a bunch more coming. So thanks a bunch, everyone. Thanks for listening in on this video. Again, we'll get back to all of our live sessions and normal stuff very, very shortly. Just working out these technical difficulties. Thanks again, everyone. Make sure to follow me on Twitter at DayTradersFX, and again, come get a free trial. We'd love to have you. Thanks, guys.